I'm Yasmin, a big movie lover, and I'm joined by my co-host, Dr. Jose Luis Ruiz, who is an author, dentist, director, and founder of both the Mexican-American Cultural Education Foundation as well as Dr. Ruiz Productions. Dr. Ruiz, how are you doing today?
I'm doing really good. I'm very, very excited with today's podcast. Today we have somebody that I admire a great deal because he's such a talented writer, director, writer, producer. So Alex Avila and professor as well. So my gosh, everything. He does amazing things. First of all, he's a professor at Texas State, and he teaches a number of classes and filmmaking and a variety of subjects over there. Of course, he's already done few features under his belt, so he's not a newbie. And we want to know a lot about, because he has a lot of experiences to tell us. And I think that our audience, who are many are filmmakers, and of course many are film lovers, want to know some of these things, because we want to learn from him. We want to learn from his experience, and of course we want to know a lot about this film, because it is a pretty cool film. Also with us today we have actress Lucero Garcia. And Lucero is a young actress, but already with several years of experience, which is really cool, right? You started young. We started at age 14. We're gonna get a chance to chat, and we're gonna learn about your path in this profession, and your passion, and I mean the tremendous amount of talent that it took to create the character of young Esteban's daughter, who we'll learn. I don't want to give it up yet. And then of course we have Hector, and Hector Uribe is an actor with also lots of experience. He's a bunch of different things, including No Country for Old Men, which is, as we all know, it's a major Hollywood film. And he's been in a number of films, independent and major productions, as we can tell. So it's nice to have somebody with so much experience as part of your cast. I love that. I love to have very experienced. When I do my productions, I really enjoy working with very experienced actors. But I also like to work with young, very talented actors. So this is going to be a fun podcast. And before we start talking to our guest, we need to start by getting excited by looking at the trailer. So we have our engineer, a sound and video engineer, Michaela, who is going to play the trailer in just a couple of minutes. She's getting it ready. And then we're going to all get a chance to see it. So let's, as soon as you're ready, you can play it.
My name is Sonia. And for me, life was perfect. I had a great career.
I think I'm going to walk the lands today.
Close friends and family. And a loving husband.
Oh, you guys are so gross.
Good morning.
Until one day,
Hey! Get up!
everything changed.
Will he die?
He's fighting for his life.
It's like the song says, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
That's just a silly song.
We learned that he would survive.
Do you know who this is?
Sonia.
But the better he got,
Yeah!
the worse he became. It's different.
I can testify as his physician that he can be dangerous to himself and to others.
Oh, I love thrillers. I love thrillers.
Psychological thriller in this case, yes.
Exactly, a psychological thriller. So let me ask a film lover who, she's a critic. She's picky.
Yeah.
So let's see what Miss Critic has to say.
Well, I think it was really good. It was a good psychological thriller, and I really liked. I kind of found it a little sad because it was like you could tell from the beginning, like they were such like a loving family, and then obviously he gets into this accident that they kind of lose that dynamic as the time goes on. So I thought it was just kind of like a sad like transformation, but overall it was a very very good story and very very enjoyable to watch.
Thank you.
Very thrilling. So Alex, let's hear from the writer. First of all, I mean, Alex is a talent. I mean, I'm not just saying that because I think so. I'm saying it because the experts will say that. Mr. Avila just won the San Antonio Film Festival for best screenplay for his next film, and currently a screenplay called AI Dad. And I know we're gonna see that in the screen. And
I hope so, yeah.
I know Alex is was part of the, and continues to be part of the mentorship program that is organized by the Mexican-American Cultural Education Foundation. And he worked very, very closely with Jesus Trevino, who is, my gosh, he's so talented. And Jesus cannot, Alex, I can tell you this. I don't know if Jesus is watching, but he kept telling me, Alex is so talented. I don't even know how to help him. Literally, he told me that more than once. He says, he's just.
Oh, but he was a great help. He was a
help.
great help. As a writer, you have these things in your head, how you want things to come out, and it doesn't always come across in paper. And so, I've always found that somebody who's engaged and can give you that constructive feedback to be really, really helpful. Early on, I had another person that helped me, Nancy de los Santos Reza. Nancy D saw an early version of the screenplay. And, I'm an academic and a journalist. So before I write, I do my research. So I do all this research, right? And when you do all that research, part of you wants to put it into the screenplay that you've been working on. And Nancy D was like, dude, you can't put in all this technical medical things. You're going to lose your audience. So she was helpful in that regard. And then working with such an experienced talent like Jesus Trevino on the story, and he would have some great feedback. And then there were a couple of times we had some back and forth and pushback on the story, and but then we talk it out, and and to have that opportunity through the Master Filmmakers Program through MACEF was awesome to get that access. And then back in April, we pretty much decided it was polished enough. And like the next day, I got an email from the San Antonio Film Festival. It's like last day to apply. So last minute, I put in the application of the screenplay, and lo and behold,
you won.
Yeah.
Congrats, man! Congratulations. And now tell us a little bit about how do you decided, so you're an academic and all of a sudden you decide that you want to write screenplays and make movies. How did that happen? What is your motivation?
I went to film school. I mean, my master's and my PhD are in journalism at the University of Texas at Austin, but my bachelor's film school. And so I've always been there, right? Back in the mid-90s when Austin was starting to burgeon, Robert Rodriguez was coming out of Austin. Rick Linklater was coming out of Austin. I and some of my friends put together something called the Chicano Latino Film Forum, and we were active at that time in the 1990s. And basically, we would bring filmmakers in front of audiences, show their work, and have a forum, have a discussion about their work.
Wow!
Like 6 years in Austin. So I've always had my hand in film, even though I went off and I was a journalist. I was a professional journalist for 20 years, 12 years as an NPR producer. And then, but I've always written, right? It's storytelling. It's a different kind of storytelling, but it's all storytelling. And so I'm a much better storyteller now than I was way back when I went to film school, right? Just from the experience of it all. But it's
I think I think to be a writer, you have to have experience in life. I mean, there's so much of what you say that comes from just living and experiencing a lot of things. So, when did you decide to actually start making films?
About 2010, I was going through a divorce, and I had wanted a couple of years earlier, I wanted to put a film together, and I had a friend, a backer that was going to help me. But a couple of years before that was 2008, and we had something of an economic crisis.
Yeah, for sure.
And
2008, it was a big one.
my friend who was going to give me some money to do it didn't have the money anymore after 2008. And so I started saying, well, okay, I don't have money. Is there anything I can shoot without any money? And that's when I dusted up an old film. And the first film that we produced was a drama, a Latino coming of age drama called, what's that up there? Closer to Bottom. I got the poster in the corner.
Nice,
And there's the
nice.
award right next to it. It won an award, Best Texas Indie in 2018. So it
Congrats.
took me that long to get the film done. 2012, 2013, we were shooting. 2014, 2015, we were editing, and we didn't really
Wow,
get
it took a long
Well, we
time.
had no budget. It was literally a no budget production, and nobody got paid. The only person got paid was an actor named Jesse Borrego, my friend, who also directed it. But he was SAG, so he had to get paid. So that was the first film. Like I said, I've been involved though. I've always helped with other people's works, and I
Hmm.
would always go back just to keep my filmmaking skills up, help my other friends who were making productions take a weekend off, take a summer off. And the good thing about being an academic like I am now is I got summers off. I can work on my films.
Now, tell me something. Let's jump in a little bit into this film. How do you come out with this idea? I mean, it's such a brilliant concept, you know.
One of the
I mean,
good things about being a college professor is you get to be around young people a lot. And this is about, I guess, 8 years ago, and I noticed some of the, as a filmmaker, as a writer, I like to eavesdrop and listen and quietly people watch. I do it all the time. I even got my wife into doing that now, that we people watch. And so I would hear students basically trying to deal with their issues and referencing pop culture. And that Kelly Willis song, What Doesn't Kill You Makes You Stronger, was pretty much a big hit back in those days. And I remember thinking when I heard students trying to tell each other that, like as if that were wisdom, life wisdom. And I remember thinking, I don't think that's true. I know quite a few people, quite a number of people who were nearly killed and were never the same. And that kind of gave me the impetus to start the
Mm.
idea. And so I started thinking about a story. What can we do? I knew I wanted somebody to be a good man, a good person, have this tragedy
Yeah,
before them,
that
and then
creates a very
as
powerful arc.
they get better physically, they actually get worse emotionally and personality wise. They get, the better he gets, the worse he becomes, or the worse he gets. And doing my research, I came across a lot of things. I came across, as a writer, to come across something like hypersexuality disorder, which is an actual thing, which people with traumatic brain injuries do experience. And that was like gold.
Yeah,
As a
exactly.
writer, it's like, okay, we can take this somewhere, and it does. And even my wife, when she finished reading the final script, she looked at me and goes, "This is disturbing." It's
Yes,
it has some really disturbing things in it, and it's not for everyone, that's true. But it is a psychological thriller, and if it makes you uncomfortable, that's kind of the purpose of a
that is
psychological.
the purpose, and it did a very good job of that. And it is a dark story, but that's what it is, you know. And it's I think you know films are supposed to make you live a different life for 2 hours or for an hour and a half, and really experience something like that. And you did a really good job. Now, how do you end up? I mean, your casting is really cool. How do you end up? You know, how do you? Who was your cast director in? And by the way, how do you come across this Yule of Lucero?
Okay, well, casting to me is so vital. It's as a director, I think it's one of the most important things to do as a director. You get the right cast, and your job as director becomes that much easier. And I've seen films, indie films, and um, they got who they got. It's kind of like this is the best they could get, and so they cast this person. They might have a certain look, but if they can't carry the material, I'm like, I'm really sad and disappointed. And I've seen indie films that do that, they got this actor and
A lot. Yeah.
just doesn't carry the film. So I took casting very seriously. For my principal actors, I did not use a casting director, right? I searched and searched and searched for my lead, for my Sarah.
Wow.
Right. And Sarah's the lead. I mean, when I first started writing the story, I thought it was a story about this guy who has a head injury and then he can't come back. But it really is her story. It's her story about trying to keep this family, this beautiful family life she worked hard to create, trying to hold it together as it's falling apart. And that became the story. So I know I needed someone strong in the lead. And I must have seen 85, 90 audition tapes. A lot of them, we're in Texas. And
Wow.
thank you for going Tejano this week. We're all Tejanos here, right?
That's
So
right.
thank you for that. And, I saw, you know, quite a number of very intelligent readings by very competent actors. And then I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't seeing it. And I bought a page in Backpage, and someone that was in LA actually at the time answered it. And she turned out to be an actress from Spain. And she's in Spain now. So Sarah Casasnovas, who's the lead in there, she sent me an audition tape, and I saw fire in her tape, right? I saw elements that I couldn't tell an actor to do, as a director, you need to do this. She brought that fire, that presence, and you either have it or you don't, right? Beyond that, can you act? And so, we tried with the auditions, give her different scenarios, and I'm like, okay, I got my Sarah. And then I had also a big trouble with our lead, our Ruben, who has his brain injury, because it's somebody you got to like at the beginning. You've really got to like him, because when he
True.
devolves into this monster, then that's much more impactful. And I wanted Brian Villalobos, for a long time. I knew Brian. Brian's first feature film was Closer to Bottom, right? So at the time when we were casting Closer to Bottom, we didn't have any money, but we have a film school in Austin at the University of Texas. So they do a lot of short films. So we looked for people who had a lot of short film experience, and we thought we're ready to make the jump to feature. And we cast Brian back then. And I wanted Brian. He turned me down 3 times.
Whoa.
3 times he turned me down, because if you read the screenplay and you've seen the film, it's kind of out there. Finally, I said, "Hey, Brian, let me buy you lunch." So we go to lunch, and I really challenged him to go out of his comfort zone as an actor. He'd been doing it pretty successfully in the Austin area. He's on a lot of commercials. You'd recognize him if you're in the Austin area on commercials. And he's done a lot of other work. And I just challenged him to go beyond his own comfort level. He's a dad now, and so elements of that were kind of why he didn't want to do it at the beginning, but he knew he
Yeah,
could.
but it's a great. I mean, that type of performance is very, impactful, and it shows the breadth of their skill as an actor.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
That's a really good opportunity. How about Lucero? Tell us a little bit about this young, great actress, Lucero.
Lucero had made an appearance in my previous film, which is a romantic comedy called Vecinos Love Thy Neighbor. And that's available on nuestro.tv if you ever want to go to
Oh, okay.
nuestro.tv.
I've seen it, actually. I've seen Vecinos. Yeah, it's very, very,
Yeah, we aired it.
very sweet story. Completely different.
Oh yeah, that's a romantic comedy. And Lucero made an appearance not spoken, and it was but again, I saw something in there in what she did with that role. And then of course we go to see her perform Mariachi Girl, or she's the lead in a play in San Antonio, Mariachi Girl. Yes, she sings mariachi.
Oh my gosh! So it's multi-talented, Lucero.
Lots of theatrical experience,
and you
I
love
wanted her. I wanted her, but I
right.
couldn't talk to her. She was a minor, right?
Oh, really?
She was a minor.
So,
So
but you only. Oh, but this is like 2 years, 3 years ago then.
yes, it was a couple of years ago. But one of her theater coaches we had cast, and so I could get access to her. And then she turned 18, so we could talk to her. I actually had cast somebody else in the role because even though in the back of my head I wanted Lucero, but I couldn't reach her. I couldn't talk to her. I had cast somebody else, and when we were doing rehearsals, that person I didn't feel was up to the role.
You didn't feel it.
Didn't feel like she was prepared, even though she knew.
Oh yeah, that's the worst. That's the worst. And they forget their lines. Oh my gosh, you're just struggle the entire time. And so then, Lucero, let me talk to Lucero, because now that we're talking about this young, talented actress, I definitely want to hear her story. We want to know. So Lucero, where are you?
Hello.
Are you there?
Yes.
There you are. Good job. So Lucero, I mean, such a nice thing to hear, right? That Alex, this talented writer director, was just waiting for you, right? I mean, that's nice. That should make you feel, get your head pretty big. But that tells me how talented you are. So, how do you end up being an actress? What's your path?
So I actually started at 6 years old.
Wow.
My dad was a single dad. So he worked during the summers, and he was like, I don't know what to do with you. So he stuck me into some theater camps, and it kind of just stuck from there. I made my professional debut at the theater that I started my camps at when I was 6, at 14 years old, in Mariachi Girl.
Wow.
And then ever since then, I mean, I've just been going at it.
Good job. Good job. So,
why don't we play a clip of her?
Yeah, well, actually, we have a clip, right? So why don't, listen to the director directing the podcast. Let's play it. I agree. It's good direction, sir. Yeah, because we want to see the talent of this young lady. I was very impressed with her performance. Let's play it.
He is in critical condition.
Can we talk to him?
He suffered a traumatic head injury. We need to reduce the swelling in his brain before we can even begin to think about surgically repairing the damage to his skull. In the meantime, we're going to keep him in a medically induced coma.
For how long?
Hopefully, a few days, but maybe a week or even longer.
Will he die?
He's fighting for his life. The good thing is they got him here quickly. Beyond that, I can't give much of a prognosis. Excuse me.
Nice. So Lucero, how did you what type of research do you do to get into your character? You know, a daughter that is going through, you know, being young, starting to become a young woman, and then all of a sudden, you know, this tragedy happens to her family. How do you prepare?
Well, I was juggling my senior year of high school and filming this. So my research was limited, but I thought that that was okay because Jessica is a teenager and she is doing the same thing, going through school and battling whatever this is at home. So I was like, I want to use that method acting and kind of really be lost and figure it out as things go along, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. In other words, I mean, it's a little bit, of representation of who you are, a young student, and you know that has to deal with that. Yeah, that's a tough acting to do. I mean, all the grief, and all the, you know, emotions that go through that. Um, but good job. That was very, very well done. Um, I also want to talk to Hector. Hector, the Dr. Marcus did such a nice job, as being the hero doctor who saves this professor. So Hector, you're very, very experienced actor. Um, what type of research did you do? What, first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself, because actually we want to know a little bit about you. We want to know uh,
Well,
what, you know, you've been an actor for a number of years and done a lot
I've
of
been
great
an
things.
actor longer than I've been a lawyer, and I've been a lawyer for 52 years.
Wow, wow! I didn't know that you were a lawyer as well.
Yeah,
Look at you.
I have a doctorate in jurisprudence from the University of Miami. But while I was at the University of Miami and before I went to law school there in Coral Gables,
Mm-hmm.
I studied acting in the speech and drama department. And at that time, I was an English major.
Uh-huh.
I studied Elizabethan theater, Shakespearean theater, and got an
Wow.
opportunity to work on several plays while I was at the university, and then also got a chance to do some summer stock at the university. So it was a tremendous education, but at that particular time, acting was not on the horizon because I was getting married, having a child, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to go into the civil rights movement and
Wow.
as an activist. And as an activist lawyer, I was a civil rights lawyer for many years, and continue to be involved in politics. But getting back to the role, as a lawyer, I actually had a client who had hypersexuality disorder
Oh.
in court. So I was very, very familiar with the diagnosis. And unfortunately, once that diagnosis is made, and it's made on the basis of behavior and the inability to control one's sexual impulses, that person is doomed. And I don't think people really appreciate the tragedy that this film is and the trajectory that this family follows from being a happy, unified, harmonious group of people that love one another, being torn asunder by this one individual who, through no fault of his own,
Exactly.
is injured tragically.
Very, very well said, and bring to our attention the tragedy over this, and certainly we felt it through the film and through what happened, through, you know, at that moment. But that's such an unusual combination. You know, a lawyer, an activist for so many years, and then now you start doing more and more acting. So, at what point do you
Go back.
decide that you want to start doing more acting and actually appear in a
He's being
major
right.
movie,
He's
right?
being
It's
modest. He's also a
it's
writer
it was
too.
a
He's
total
writing
accident.
them.
It was a total accident, Jose Luis.
How did that
My,
happen, my friend?
my daughter is an actress. She had an audition. Her car broke down. She called
Oh,
me. I picked her up. I dropped her off. I said, honey, break a leg. I came back to the auditioner's office. And as I was coming in the front door, my daughter was coming out of the audition room with the audition.
uh-huh.
And the fellow looked at me and he said, you're next. And my daughter said, go ahead, Dad, I'll sign you up. And I went in like I'd been doing it all of my life. Like I'd been doing it. I didn't miss a beat. I went in there and I got a part in a movie. Second half.
Wow.
Yeah. A very small, as kind of an extra part. But I said, I think I can do this. And she said,
So,
don't worry, Dad, I'm signing you up with my agent. And I was working literally from that moment on as an actor.
wow. Okay, so your daughter knew how much love you had for acting then, because she
Yeah,
was encouraging you.
that was one career that I had set aside. It went up on a shelf. I never thought I'd be able to take that career down again. It's like an old baseball glove.
Yeah,
You
no,
know?
no, for sure. I know what you mean because I'm a musician, and when I had the opportunity to play in a band again after 20 something years, I did. So I know how it feels like when you have that little itch that
Oh,
you
that's right.
wanna do it, but you're too busy with life and business, and
And
it's so
business.
wonderful that that you getting this opportunity, that you're
Yeah,
taking advantage of it, right?
I've had that opportunity, I think, now for the last 15 going on 20 years. And
Wonderful.
a lot of these films start off as concepts, like Alex's film. It started out as a
Oh,
concept. And one of the most significant things, and one of the things that really drew me to this particular film is how well it's written.
oh yeah.
It's a wonderful story, and it's a classic 3-act play.
Yeah. Yeah, Alex is absolutely phenomenal. So Alex, how do you meet Hector?
Oh,
How do you cast Hector?
okay. How did I meet him or how did I cast him? Because I met
Well,
him uh,
both.
40 years ago when he was a state senator. He's got a political career as well. And he's
Oh
a
my
writer now.
gosh!
He's writing screenplays now. He's certainly a man to admire and all the careers he's had. Uh,
Wow!
I try to be like that. I'm a
And so you knew him, and then you knew that he was a good actor,
Mhm.
and then you had a part for him, and you
Yeah, I
call him.
wish I wish you'd show that clip from No Country and Old Men where he plays the Mexican in a suit. And if you just go to YouTube, go to No Country for Old Men, Mexican in a suit, and you recognize that character. And he's
Wow! Wow!
phenomenal,
That's a very cool thing.
phenomenal
Yeah.
in that role. I had actually offered that role. Like I said, the four principles, I did not use the casting director. I did use the casting director for all the other parts
Hmm.
because I have a very good one. That's June Griffin Garcia, who happens to also like to cast herself in some of the juicy roles when she can. So she plays the grandmother in the movie, but she helps
Oh.
all the other parts. In the case of Hector, I had actually offered the role to someone else. I had offered it to Rupert, who I worked with in Vecinos. He was the main actor in Vecinos, and he saw
Hmm.
the script and he's like, I don't know, I'm not, this is well beyond my comfort level in terms of the themes. And so, even though we were close and we'd worked together intimately on other projects, and he wasn't the only one. First ADs that I'd worked with, didn't want to touch the material, right?
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
Wow,
it's that disturbing sometimes. And
oh
so,
yeah, it is. It is
and
a
the
tough
good
one.
thing about that, though, is the people that are involved with the film wanted to be involved with the film. So I didn't have to worry about that. So everybody here was dedicated to.
How are you distributing what's your strategy for, especially with
Don't have a
the
distribution outlet. I do have a couple of distributors interested in seeing it now. And so we'll do one of them in Europe. And I have a feeling we might do a little better in Europe because of the themes and the subject matter that they're a little more open to those kind of controversial themes. So Sarah, who's our lead actress, she's in Spain. She couldn't join us today. But one, it's 1 o'clock in the morning where she is. But the other thing, she had a concert this evening that she was performing and preparing for, so she wasn't available.
Yeah,
Some
it
friends
would have
that
been nice to get a chance to chat with her. You know what? I think it's time for us to see the second clip. How about that? What do you say, Director Vila?
I'd love it.
You agree? Let's do it.
Take a look at Luceto's performance in this. I'm just gonna say, and let me set this up a little bit. The story, in the story, there's this worry that from the mom's care idea that she's losing her husband. He doesn't remember some things, but what he did remember, and this kind of gave her hope, was this little catchphrase that they had between each other. It was a little inside thing that they would say that went back to when they first met. And when he responded to that after his injury, she kind of held on hope. In this scene, this is the first time he doesn't respond to it. And well, I'll leave it at that.
Let's play it and see what happens.
Jessica, we're waiting.
Sorry, Mom. I only have time for a quick bite.
Going somewhere?
Yeah, I'm meeting with Anita and Yvette.
I know you haven't seen your friends all summer, but we need to check these brochures. School brochures.
But why? I already know what colleges I'm applying to, and until I get offers, I don't see the point of a college visit.
We need to make this decision together, as a family.
Actually, no. It's my decision. Okay, you could take a look at these, and if you think you find something I might like, you could just put it aside for me. Okay? My ride's here, I gotta go.
At least invite them for a minute.
I can't, the concert starts in 20 minutes. And Grandma?
She's in Houston. Houston, we have a problem. She'll be back in a couple of days. I always dream of visiting colleges with my little baby. Which one you think is the best? Huh?
Focus on the good schools. The fact is, some schools are better than others.
As you know, there are no facts, all interpretations.
That's silly. Facts are facts. There's no such thing as alternative facts.
Wow. Very, very, very powerful performances there.
I think the acting really carries the film. I mean, y'all have been very kind in talking about the writing, but that's only one part of storytelling is the writing, and then we
For sure.
edit it,
For
and
sure, but
brilliant people like those here on this podcast have to actually act it out.
well, that's very generous of you, my friend. But I don't think anybody wants to start to do a film without a great screenplay, and you are certainly a great writer. And I mean, we hope that. I mean, I hope that one of these days you and I will be able to do something together, because I would love for that. But before we get into any additional conversations, we have a new part in this podcast, which is called rapid questions and answers. In other words, we wanna get to know you guys, and we're gonna get personal, but all fun.
Okay.
So we'll choose who to ask the question, and then we'll ask the question, and then you give us a pretty straightforward, quick answer, and then the next. So let's start with my co-host asking a question.
Okay, Alex, I'll be asking you, what is your fave psychological thriller?
Oh, I often say this when people ask me what's my favorite of anything. It depends on my mood, right? Because I watch so much, I see so much, I consume so much, and something I'll be obsessed with one week, I'll be obsessed with something else. And yeah, I've been lucky. This is my third feature film. AI Dad next year will be my fourth feature film. My first was a coming of age drama. My second was a rom-com, romantic comedy. This is a psychological thriller, and AI Dad's a sci-fi. So
Yep.
I've been able to explore different genres, and so you want me to pick a favorite? I don't think.
Well, then let's see if Lucero will fall for the question. Lucero, who is your favorite actress?
Oh, I would have to say Rachel McAdams.
Oh, that's nice.
And why?
Why? Oh my gosh. Didn't she do The Notebook at the same time as Mean Girls? I mean, the range that she has is incredible.
That's fair.
Good answer.
Okay, Hector, if your life was a movie, what would it be titled?
If
your life was a movie,
if my life
question.
was a movie,
Yeah, what would it be titled?
Second Acts.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Right.
So, Alex, what's next?
Well, obviously we want to do AI Dad, and I will say this about AI Dad. I thought about it while we were shooting Cerebral. And what I thought was, and I'll say this to everybody listening, Lucero has got talent, guys. And I realized while we were shooting, I need to write something where she could be the lead in. And that's really how I started with AI Dad. And she's read it. And with any luck, we'll be shooting that next. I'll be taking Cerebral onto a festival circuit also next year. And of course, showing it to distributors.
Yeah, we will be talking about where they can follow you. Well, actually the time has come. Whereas it's one of those podcasts that just the time flew because we're having so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about where can we see this talented people next.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I just want to thank everyone for joining us on this podcast of Mexican-American Latino Lens Live, where we highlight the brilliance, resilience, and creativity of Latino creators in film. And I just want to remind everyone to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Dr. Ruiz Productions and to follow us at Dr. Ruiz Productions on Instagram and Facebook and on TikTok. And I did put a shout out to everyone that's on this amazing film as well as this amazing film. So go check out our latest post where you can see all the information on Cerebral and make sure to keep up with it once it is released, because right now it isn't released, but it is going to be coming up soon. So just make sure you guys keep up with it.
Probably lots of film festivals, right, Alex?
I hope. We'll see. We'll start putting them in this month. September is a good month.
Okay, so you just started to put them in the film festival.
Right.
Oh wow! It's because the movie is fresh from the oven.
Yeah, it's just baked.
My gosh, I know that the fans are gonna just love it, and so please keep us informed. Let us know, because we want to make sure that we pass that information along to all our followers.
See Vecinos, my last film. It's at nuestro.tv.
Okay,
You can click there.
Nuestro.tv.
And that's
Very
that's
good.
a fun film, and y'all want to have a good time. That's a good family-friendly one. Not like Cerebral. I wouldn't show this to kids. But you can go see Vecinos there.
So, Lucero, what's next for you?
Well, I actually cannot say because
Oh, secrets.
yes, not yet. Until the cast has been announced for both
Okay.
projects that I'm in, I cannot really say I can't say much.
Well, we'll keep our eye on you for sure, especially with the endorsement that Alex just gave you. And Hector, my friend, I mean, I don't know what's next. President of the United States?
Well, maybe Congress, but I'd have to move to California. I'm a Democrat.
Democrats there, right? He's a Democrat.
Very much a Democrat, very much progressive. But right now, my focus is on two things: is screenwriting, and I've got about 5 screenplays myself that I've under the belt, and focusing on the next elections. They're going to be extremely important. It'll determine whether we keep our democracy or not.
Yeah, there's a lot of things writing in it, and you know what? I look forward to seeing those screenplays. Well, I mean, of course, I hope that you submit something to our currently open admissions for production grants. In other words, money to produce a film or a short film, as well as the master's class, an opportunity to be mentored by some of the most acclaimed filmmakers in the Mexican-American Latino film community. So, Hector, please, keep us in mind. And Lucero, you as well. And of course, Alex, as always, a pleasure. I look forward to seeing you again and cooperating with you because you're brilliant. And in the meantime, friends, I look forward to seeing you on our next podcast. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye.